Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel is a book that teaches you lessons on how to work with money so it becomes effortless to attract it. One can attract a lot of wealth if one understands the psychology behind this commodity. Money is not scarce, but only available to those who know the rules of the game of money. Read this book now and learn the psychology of money and attract abundance. Why do we think that even if people have a lot of money, they live mediocre lives? And some people with less money become millionaires. Whether we agree or not, the decisions we are making related to money today will have a financial impact in the near future. Then why not understand the psychology of money and take the first mover advantage? Hence, we are going to talk about the book, The Psychology of Money, written by Morgan Housel. This book offers a unique perspective on personal finance by exploring the interplay between human behavior and money. Unlike many traditional personal finance books that concentrate on topics such as stock selection or portfolio construction, Housel delves into the complex relationship between individuals and their finances. By examining the historical factors of greed, insecurity, and optimism, Housel offers insight into why people struggle with debt and financial management rather than simply analyzing interest rates. Success in managing money isn't solely determined by intelligence, but rather by behavior. This book emphasizes the importance of adopting constructive behaviors that lead to positive outcomes while also warning against destructive habits. It's not necessary to have a high income or advanced education to benefit from these lessons. The book is divided into several chapters, each exploring a different human behavior or attitude towards money. By dissecting these behaviors and their impact on personal finance, readers can gain valuable insights into their own financial habits. The lessons provided in the book are applicable to everyone regardless of their income level or educational background. The author emphasizes that financial success requires discipline, patience, and a willingness to adopt beneficial behaviors. The book contains 12 crucial lessons, which offer practical guidance on improving one's financial situation. These lessons cover a wide range of topics, from the dangers of overconfidence to the benefits of adopting a long-term perspective on investments. By reading this book and implementing its lessons, readers can improve their relationship with money and develop a healthier attitude towards personal finance. While financial success may not come overnight, the constructive behaviors and attitudes outlined in the book can set readers on the path to long-term financial stability. No one is crazy. Every individual's perception of the world is unique, shaped by their personal experiences, values, and external factors. The way someone views the world is heavily influenced by their own circumstances, which may only represent a minuscule fraction of the world's overall happenings. However, these experiences can have a significant impact on one's beliefs about the world, accounting for up to 8 of their worldview regarding how the world operates. No amount of education or open-mindedness can accurately replicate the power of emotions such as fear and uncertainty. Even those who consider themselves well-informed about the world have only experienced a tiny portion of it, and this limited experience can lead to misunderstandings or misjudgments. For example, consider the low-income households in the U.S. who spend an average of $400 per year on lottery tickets. This figure may seem irrational to people in higher income households, but it is difficult to understand the rationale behind the behavior without being in their shoes. Those who justify the purchase of lottery tickets may do so by saying they are paying for hope and a dream. However, without experiencing the same circumstances as low-income households, it is challenging to fully comprehend their reasons for such behavior. Ultimately, individual experiences shape one's perception of the world, and these perceptions can vary drastically from person to person. Clockers. Success is not solely determined by effort. Luck and risk often play a significant role in individual outcomes. Take the story of Bill Gates, for example. Gates attended Lakeside High School, which happened to be one of the few high schools in the world with a computer in 1968. However, it was the efforts of a teacher, Bill Dugall, to acquire a $3,000 teletype computer that paved the way for Gates to achieve his career success. Gates himself acknowledges this, stating that if there had been no Lakeside High School, there would have been no Microsoft. Lakeside had free standout computer students, all of whom were friends. Bill Gates, Paul Allen, and Kent Evans. Unfortunately, Kent Evans passed away in an accident before graduation, robbing him of the opportunity to achieve his potential. This serves as an example of bad luck. Luck and risk are both undeniable factors that influence individual outcomes. The reality is that no matter how hard one works, external forces will inevitably shape one's success. The world is too complex to allow for 100 of an individual's actions to dictate 100 of their outcomes. As a result, the accidental impact of actions beyond one's control can often have a greater impact on their success than their personal efforts. That's it. Never enough. It's a party hosted by a billionaire writers Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller had a conversation that highlights the idea of having enough. Vonnegut pointed out that the billionaire makes more money in a single day than Heller made from his popular novel. However, Heller replied by saying that he has something that the billionaire will never have enough. The hardest financial skill is knowing when to stop moving the goalpost. Often, we compare ourselves to others, which can lead to feelings of envy. Capitalism is excellent at generating both wealth and envy, but social comparison is an endless process. There will always be someone who has more money or status than you do. Having enough means knowing when to avoid taking risks that may cause regret. Many things in life are not worth the risk, regardless of the potential gains. A few examples include your reputation, freedom, family and friends, love, and happiness. The only way to win is by not playing the game. Knowing when to stop and having the discipline to walk away is the key to financial success and happiness. Was Tony compounding. Warren Buffett's financial success is not just about being a good investor, but maintaining his investment success for over 75 years. His secret is time, which allowed for compounding to work its magic. Good investing is not just about earning high returns, but earning consistent returns that can be repeated over time. Consistency and longevity are key factors that enable compounding to produce remarkable results. However, getting money and keeping money are two distinct and different challenges that require different mindsets and strategies. To acquire wealth, taking risks, being optimistic, and putting oneself out there are necessary. On the other hand, to retain wealth, one must have humility and fear that their financial success can be lost quickly. This requires adopting a conservative mindset and risk management strategies to protect one's wealth. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. According to venture capitalist Michael Moritz, we should not assume that tomorrow will be like yesterday. It is not safe to become too comfortable or complacent, thinking that past successes will necessarily lead to future good fortune. We must continue to push forward and strive for success, rather than relying solely on past achievements. Having a survival mindset requires three things. Be able to stick out swings in the market and stay in the game long enough for compounding to work its magic. Important thing to plan for. The plan won't go according to plan. A good plan leaves room for error. The more you need specific elements of a plan to be true, the more fragile your financial plan becomes. Be optimistic about the future, but paranoid about the obstacles to your success. Austin Singh. Tails, you win. Heisberg was a renowned art collector who had a remarkable collection of paintings by celebrated artists such as Picasso, Braque, Klee, and Matisse. Many people admired his art investing skills, but the reality was that he purchased a massive quantity of art, and only a small portion of his collection was valuable. Despite being wrong most of the time, Berggren was still able to achieve tremendous success. This is because anything that is huge, profitable, famous, or influential is the result of a tail event, an outlying one in thousands or millions event. The same principle applies to the venture capital model, where investors expect most of their investments to fail, a few to do reasonably well, and only one or two to drive the fund's returns. Similarly, in the stock market, most public companies fail, a few do okay, and a small number generate extraordinary returns. Recognizing that tails drive everything in business investing and finance means that it's normal for many things to go wrong, break, fail, and fall. When you accept this fact, you understand that the key to success is not avoiding failure altogether, but managing risk and exposure to tail events. Wealth is what you don't see. Wealth is often misunderstood as simply having a large amount of money or assets. However, it's important to recognize that wealth is not just about what you have, but also what you choose to do with it. It's the financial asset that hasn't been converted into material possessions or experiences. It's common for people to express a desire to be millionaires, but what they really mean is that they want to spend $1 million. In reality, spending $1 million is the opposite of being a millionaire. The true difference between being wealthy and being rich lies in the way in which people utilize their resources. Those who are rich are often visible through their flashy displays of wealth, such as driving fancy cars and living in large homes. They typically have high incomes, which enable them to spend freely and indulge in their desired luxuries. However, true wealth is often hidden and not as immediately apparent. Wealth is the accumulation of income that is saved rather than spent. It's the optionality, flexibility, and growth that comes from having resources available for future use. Wealth allows individuals to have the ability to purchase things when they need or want to without the stress or pressure of financial constraints. I said money. In personal finance, your savings rate trumps your income or investment returns. Like the amount you save is within your control and can have a significant impact on your financial well-being. It's essential to focus on what works for you rather than worrying about others' opinions. Having more control over your time and options is becoming increasingly valuable in today's world. Money alone can't buy you freedom, but financial security and flexibility can. By prioritizing savings, you can create a safety net that allows you to make choices that align with your values and goals.
Reasonable, rational room for error. When it comes to making financial decisions, it's unrealistic to aim for complete cold rationality. Instead, the goal should be to be reasonably rational. This approach is more practical and sustainable in the long run, which is crucial for managing money effectively.
Over time, the odds of making money increase. This is because things that have never happened before can happen at any time. However, it's important to remember that past performance does not guarantee future results. In blackjack and poker, players understand that they are dealing with probabilities rather than certainties. The best strategy is to plan for things not to go as planned. Having a margin of safety, or room for error and redundancy, is essential to navigating a world governed by odds. Preparing for the unexpected is challenging because it's impossible to anticipate everything that could go wrong. However, you can minimize the impact of failure by avoiding single points of failure. The biggest point of failure with money is relying solely on a paycheck to fund short-term spending needs without any savings. To avoid this, it's a good idea to have a rainy day fund that can be used for unforeseen expenses. Making effective long-term plans and decisions is challenging because we are poor predictors of our future selves. What we value today may not be as important to us in the future. It is essential to recognize that individuals are susceptible to change. Sunk costs can be detrimental as they can anchor us to past efforts and limit our future choices. It is crucial to avoid making decisions based solely on sunk costs and to recognize that what matters most is minimizing future losses. Successful investing requires paying a price, but the currency is not always dollars and cents. It often involves volatility, fear, doubt, uncertainty, and regret. Many investors are not willing to accept this price and shy away from investing as a result. Viewing volatility as a fee can help shift our perspective and make us more comfortable with short-term market fluctuations. It takes a certain disposition to accept the price of investing, but when done with a long-term perspective, the short-term costs can be more easily managed. Understanding the true cost of investing and being willing to pay it is critical. By doing so, we can avoid being prisoners to our past decisions and instead create a more flexible and adaptable future. The seduction of pessimism. Pessimism is a more common mindset than optimism, and it is often seen as smarter and more intellectually captivating. Optimism, on the other hand, is viewed as being oblivious to risk. This is because humans are wired to perceive threats as more urgent than opportunities. This asymmetry between positive and negative expectations or experiences has an evolutionary history that has helped organisms to survive and reproduce. During the 2000s, as oil prices rose, previously unviable type of oil extraction became economically feasible. This is because adversity often drives innovation and new solutions. Threats incentivize solutions in equal magnitude, which is a common theme in economic history. However, this is often overlooked by pessimists who focus on setbacks and disasters which happen quickly and impactfully. It is essential to remember that progress is slow and steady, driven by compounding, which always takes time. In contrast, destruction is driven by single points of failure that can happen in seconds and loss of confidence, which can happen in an instant. Overnight tragedies are common, but there are rarely overnight miracles. Therefore, we must not be blinded by pessimism or overly optimism. Instead, we should approach life with a balanced perspective and respond to adversity with innovative solutions, as it is essential to acknowledge the reality that setbacks and failures will occur, but remain focused on the long-term progress and growth. This lesson emphasizes the importance of independence in all of authors' financial decisions. Living below one's means is a key element of financial success, as well as finding pleasure in low-cost activities such as exercising, reading, podcasts, and learning. The author owns his house outright without a mortgage, acknowledging that while it may not be the best financial decision, it provides peace of mind. The author keeps 20 of his assets in cash to provide a safety net and avoid having to sell stock market investments in an emergency. This aligns with Charlie Munger's philosophy that the first rule of compounding is never to interrupt it unnecessarily. The author of The Psychology of Money no longer invests in individual stocks and instead puts all of his stock market investments in low-cost index funds. While some investors can outperform the market averages, it is a challenging feat, and the majority of investors would benefit from selecting a strategy that has the highest probability of meeting their long-term goals. For most investors, this strategy would be investing in a low-cost index fund. In summary, the author's financial habits revolve around independence, living below one's means, prioritizing peace of mind, maintaining a safety net, and investing in low-cost index funds for long-term success. By following these practices, readers can strive for financial success in their own lives.